gratitude of the 54 African nations whose member associations are members of CAF, to our brother Philippe and to the Aponte family. Just pass our regards. I was so privileged to meet the wife. What is her name again?
Ella.
Ella, that's right. Ella. I almost said Ella, but I don't want, it's good that she reminded me. It was a privilege to meet her. She looks very young, you know. And, she is young. It was an honor to meet her and you can tell her that I said it was an honor to meet her. You can decide whether you want to tell her all the other things I said, but just tell her. It was a great honor. And of course, I work with I have the privilege of working with some of the most successful families in the world. We are part of the Giving Pledge that was started by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, and in terms of those families that are part of that, we've committed to give half to the poor, because you can't have growth in economies where rich people live in luxury and there are poor people side by side. We've got a duty to uplift and give hope to the future. But going back to the Aponte family, family businesses have deep commitment to the reputation and also to the impact. So it's a great honor, Philippe, for CAF to be with the Aponte family. Now, it doesn't mean because it's a family business, I will not want lots of money from them. and the importance of the money is that every single cent of every dollar we get goes to football development, goes to youth academies, goes to football for boys and girls, goes to our member associations who are so important. And just before I continue, just to express my deep gratitude for every single one of the member association presidents who are with us, and because you are the backbone of African football, I'll quickly, Danny Jordan, thank you so much for hosting us, and my brother from Mozambique, thanks for the good work, brother from President of Mauritius, Baron, you are the President of Africa, my brother President of Comoros, Ndate, President of Lesotho, Nugget, Balit, Chelastau. And I spent many years in Swaziland, had a huge privilege of being educated there, met some of the most wonderful people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our brother, KK11. For us, it's always KK11, our brother from Zambia. So good to have you here. My broer van Namibia. Thanks for the good work you're doing. So proud of the good work you're doing at Fleetwood. Thank you so much for the good you're doing in Malawi, Fleetwood, and in Mozambique. I've recognized all the presidents. And the reason is because we're going to have a quick meeting. And football in Africa, it's not what happens at the CAF headquarters, it's what happens in every single one of the countries that I've recognized. And I'm so proud of the good work that each of you are doing in your countries. And Lucas, so good to see you. Portia and all of our legends who are here. And thank you so much, Sue, for the work that you are doing. And thanks to everybody. Veron, I'm so proud of the excellent work that you're doing. And Hassan loves Philip. Hassan, at times I didn't know whether, Hassan, I know I pay his salary, CAF pays his salary, but I didn't know whether he was more loyal to the Aponte family or to CAF. And then he kept saying to my president, when you meet Philip, you like him. I said, I like him more if he gives me more money, And so thank you so much. And part of what we want to emphasize is not a single one of your countries. Let me put it more positive. Every single one of the countries that are represented by our member association presidents, we need you to play football in your country, So we are working together with your heads of states, and I'll be visiting again some of the heads of state, because the partnership is so important to build every single country in Africa. Mauritius, I recognize you as well, because I shouldn't say my family loves Mauritius, I must say my family loves all of your countries, and all of the 54. But we need to make sure that in every single African country, that you play football in front of your supporters, in front of your fans. And that's partly why this $1 billion CAF commitment over the next 8 years that I spoke about, which is going very well, despite some of the challenges we have in terms of make sure that there's total. We want long-term contracts for the sponsors, because that's the only way they get their returns. And of course, there are some legal limitations that we are working to resolve and make sure that we can build stadiums. In every country there must be a stadium, and that is at the CAF and FIFA standards. And I was in Morocco a few days ago, Philippe, and I emphasized that African football, Lucas, you could play in any team in the world. We have to win. I mean, African football must be exciting. If the supporters, the fans, look at how we play football on TV and it excites them, they want to come to the stadium. That's what it's all about. And also on the world stage, we will only really be respected as African football. And of course, my main job is Africa, because Africa is what I owe my duty to. But of course, I'm a citizen of the world, and I've got a duty to the rest of the world. But when Morocco went to the semi-finals in Qatar, it was a moment of pride. A moment of pride for the people of Morocco, a moment of pride for Africa. And today I'm in South Africa, and I'm going to say what I say in South Africa, which I would say the same words in every single one of the 15 presidents who are here from COSAFA, and in every single one of the 54 nations in Africa, where there's enormous potential. We need to invest in youth football, and of course we need the private sector. We need business to recognize. We want business to do well. I want AGL to succeed, and I want AGL because my shareholders all over the world say to me, where are my dividends? What's happening to my share price? So I want AGL and MSC. Veron, the family company is called MSC. MSC.
Mediterranean Shipping Company.
Yeah, Mother Sugar Canada. Mediterranean Sugar Company. Mediterranean Shipping Company. Almost. So we want them to succeed, create value for the shareholders. And so we want the private sector to partner more, sponsor football. And if they sponsor football, they succeed more. And of course, we give comfort in terms of governance, in terms of ethics, in terms of transparency, in terms of zero tolerance for corruption, zero tolerance for improper behavior by those who are involved in football. And that's the reason why we have succeeded enormously over the last 4 years to get sponsors and partners in Africa and all over the world coming to partner with CAF. Now let me tell you two other things. I told Karen that I'm very proud of her, and very proud of SuperSport, very proud of South African Broadcasting Corporation, very proud of every single one of you, because you are the people who made football very popular. And as I was walking in, somebody asked me, in fact, Lucas was talking to me, and I said to Lucas, we were talking about many things, but I said, I'm happy Kaizer Chiefs is back in the Confederation. because if you grew up the way I grew up, you cannot develop South African football without a successful Kaizer Chiefs. And then you quickly say, without a successful Golden Arrows, Amazulu, all the others. So that they feel that I have a duty to recognize all of them. But I'm so proud, and I'm proud of the work that the Darling family is doing. And I say the same thing about Babane Swallows, about Chiefs in Botswana and every single one of the countries where we need to develop club football. We will be going to America in a few months for the best football clubs in the world, the very best. And I was in Miami a few weeks, and I was told, when you have Brazil play, it's beautiful. But when you have Mbappe and Vinicius Junior and all of these others in the same team, it's something to be proud of. And we want the best of Africa to be competing, the best of African football to be competing against the best of world football. And we are confident, as I said, part of our objective is an African nation will be champions of the World Cup. That is the aim, and we recognize it needs investment, and it needs commitment. And where we've got countries where heads of state support football and loves football, those are the countries that usually succeed enormously. Now, today is about football because our lives are about football. We are passionate about football, but we also recognize the inextricable connection between football and job creation, economic development, investment, a better lifestyle, improvement in the living conditions of our people in every single one of the 54 countries in Africa. And that's why, Philippe, the history of the Aponte family, the history of AGL, and the history of MSC, to use the history to contribute to the improvement of the living conditions of the people where you live is something that we are deeply committed to. But when I was asked to become president of football, now I don't even, when I was involved in president of football, I don't go to meetings of the local football leadership. They do good work, and I'm proud of them. So the same thing applied in the African continent because we've got. When you lend your name to anything, there has to be a quantifiable, discernible, accessible progress, and not in your mind, but in the mind of third parties, and more importantly, in the minds of the skeptics. But the point I want to make is, we recognize that through football, and that's why for us as a family, football is part of our philanthropic obligations. We recognize the importance of football to contribute towards, there are certain basic things. We give jobs to the football players, to those who are employed by the national team and the clubs. We give jobs to the coaches. We give jobs to those who provide goods and services to the football industry, very important. But it extends beyond that. It extends to a young boy, a young girl. And that's why women's football, for me and for CAF, is critically important. A young boy watches Lucas Khadebe and play for Leeds and play for Orlando Pirates. You played for Orlando Pirates. Pirates was my father's team. So, whenever they talk, I get confused. My son, who's involved in another club, say hello to me. I said, make sure Pirates does well. Oh, Daddy, man. Make sure Chiefs does well. So Lucas made us proud when he was with Kaiser Chiefs. But the point I'm making is, young boys and girls look at him, gets inspiration, and think, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a scientist. And if Lucas can be so special, if Banda is the highest paid football player, woman football player in the world. And you know where she comes from, Kamanga? She's from Lusikisiki. So Lusikisiki is one of the villages where Mandela came from, in the Eastern Cape, which I love. Banda is from Zambia. He is one of our own, from Africa. And the very, very best inspires young girls, those who want to become football players, as well as those who think, if she can fulfill her dreams, I can do the same. And why we always start with a prayer in camp is because we also recognize that the importance of football to bring people from different religious backgrounds together. I am what I am, and we are what we are as a family, because of people from all religious backgrounds. Catholic, Christian, Muslim, the Jewish faith, all of the faiths in the world. So we've got a deep commitment and a deep duty to them. So football brings people together from different ethnic, from different racial backgrounds. When people look at a football player, whether in Paris or London or Lagos or Johannesburg, they feel proud. Because whether you are orange, green, yellow, black, white, you are my hero. So for us, of course, the focus is football. And we've got to succeed, and African football must be world class. It must be as good as the best in the world. And is making enormous progress, enormous progress. And part of that is we must get more financial involvement. We've got to pay our players in Africa even more. And we should do it because there's money coming in. Because we can't expect families that own football clubs, to consistently subsidize the salaries from their limited resources. We've got to help them. And part of helping them is more sponsorship. And that's why there were approximately 70 clubs that participated in the CAF competitions. We gave each of them 50,000 for the first time. We've got a clear plan to give them more, to help them, because they have to travel. They can't compete. They can't maintain the resources, their competitiveness with the limited resources they have. We've got a plan. That's why the presidents, all of the presidents here, Fleetwood from the 54, I'll keep mentioning your name if you keep looking at your laptop, Fleetwood. Because I know in your laptop you are sending messages to me. I don't want you to send messages to me. You know, the cell phone keeps ringing, and when I look, it's Fleetwood. Anyway, so we need to give more resources to our presidents, to our football associations, and that's why, the partnership with AGL puts us in a position you need more financial resources for the Football Federation so that they can do the work they need to do. All right, so Veron, is there something I forgot? Okay. We will be in, Veron says no, but he always says no, even if there are things I forgot. And we will be in Ghana on Friday. I'll be leaving late. I'll be flying out very early on Saturday to go to Ghana. And I'm excited because of what's happening in Ghana. It's all the presidents of the member associations in WAFU B, in West Africa will be coming together. But it's the schools competition, the African Schools Football Championship. This new schools competition that we started. As a young boy, I used to watch. In fact, the first time I saw Kaiser Motaung was when he came to play at my father's school. One of the legends, and of course, Kaiser always has been a very special hero. But we were young boys, but it was schools football. Some of the best football players in South Africa came from the schools. And some of the best football players now that we see in Malawi, in Zambia, in Mauritius, in every country on the continent. Those young boys and girls that we will be seeing, that we will be looking. Portia, are you okay? Very good. Portia, as I was walking, said, Banyana needs me because I can still score goals for them. She was one of the very best. But those young boys and girls that we will be seeing in Ghana, there's about 1 million of them. There's 1 million young boys and girls at about 300,000 schools on the African continent who are taking boys and girls. Because we said the days for just saying it's about boys. I come from a family where my mother used to run the family business. So when Philippe said, you are also working with us for women's football, we know that if you want to invest in a community, in a family, in a nation, I'm not saying don't invest in the boys and girls, the boys and men do that, but start with the girls and the women. Because it is the mother who nurtures us. Anyway, I want to stop here and just say how enormously proud I am. And just one quick issue. I was with Thabo Mbeki yesterday. And why I'm saying that is because there were, let me talk about football, because in the midst of former President Mbeki had a quick discussion. But why I'm mentioning it is because it's because partly how we see our duty as South Africans, as Africans in Africa. Nelson Mandela was enormously passionate. And that's why when I look at Kamanga, we still talk about KK11, Kenneth Kaunda. Nelson Mandela, enormously passionate, enormously committed to Africa. And of course, Thabo Mbeki, we used to call him, and we still do call him the Renaissance man, enormously passionate about recognizing that the future of South Africa is inextricably intertwined with the future of the African continent. And we were talking about, there were other things, but the most important issue that's relevant here is about the importance of football and how football should continue to bring our people together and inspire. So when Morocco wins, it's something that all of us are proud on the continent. When Nigeria were the champions of the Olympics, it was a moment of pride. When the Zambia were the champions of Africa, moment of pride. Mark Fish is not here anymore. I was with Mark Fish in Morocco. When Lucas and Mark were champions of Africa, when Cameroon were champions of the Olympics in the world, moment of pride. So I can say the same thing about Nelson Mandela, every single head of state in South Africa. Whether it was Nelson Mandela or Thabo Mbeki or Jacob Zuma or Cyril Ramaphosa now, recognize the enormous duty we have and the passion and the love we have for the continent. Thank you so much. Wish you all of the best. Thank you for the partnership. And I'm proud of the leadership we have in this room from Africa, and I'm proud of the leadership we have in CAF Exco, and the vice presidents that I'll be announcing on, when am I announcing them, Ron? On Saturday. Yeah. Next question. The difficult questions go to Philip, and the easy ones go to me.
Mr. Lavon, I don't know if this is a difficult question, but you spoke about the overwhelming success of the Africa Cup of Nations 2023. Of course, AGL was a major part of that. Can you give us an idea of how huge the logistical operations at CAF competitions are and how you bring your expansive network together to cater for that?
Thank you again. But before to reply to your question, and if it is too difficult, I will pass it to Patrice, who is amazing. And I was really proud again of this partnership because, Patrick, you are inspiring. You are really inspiring. And when you lead a company, you are so right. The judgment is 20 years after. Because a difficult decision, you take them when they are adverse to the consensus. So, I mean, thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I am also inspired by your discipline. And I heard this word about the legend of soccer in Africa. And I've been lucky to be close to some of them, and they are very disciplined. And you are right also, Patrick. And you say that this soccer player, male or female, they are inspiring all the youth. And the youth, they believe, if we can succeed in football, we can succeed as an engineer, we can succeed as a doctor, we can succeed as an actor. So really, this is why we are in football.
As an employee of AGL as well.
Yeah. But thank you, Patrice. But to come back to what we do, we move goods. We move goods from anywhere in the world to anywhere in Africa. And the organization of African Cup of Nations is huge. To give you an idea, in Côte d'Ivoire we transported about 2,000 containers, which is about 32,000 tons of goods, steel, equipment, medical equipment. We transported MRI, 6 MRI for Ivorian hospital, because now with Patrice Motsepe there is such a high requirement that the country they have to invest to improve their healthcare system. So it was huge, and we have to coordinate and to move it all around Africa. and it was really a great pleasure. But being associated to that, I mean, our people are also proud. And we were in Côte d'Ivoire. Really, it was the best African Cup ever organized. And all our people were proud to be associated to your brand. And when I watch at this movie, it remembers me something, Patrice. When I was at the stadium next to Drogba, Oscar Aponte, that whom you met with Ella, said to his dad, "Hey, look, Dad, Phil is on the TV." So it means this match was watched all over the world. And it was a good advertise also for us, even if we are not in B2C business. So we move goods, and we are trusted. When you give us your goods, your equipment, you can be sure we will deliver. You will track and trace where the goods are, and if an accident occurred, we will make what we have to do to deliver the goods or other goods to replace it. So this is what we are with our team and what we do for such an organization. We will be in Morocco. We are in 47 countries. So once again, you are inspiring us because we have to be in 54 countries. But we are in Morocco, and in Morocco we have already started to work for the cup by bringing heavy equipment to the stadium, but because when you talk about the stadium, you talk also about power, because you need energy. Most of the match now are at night, so we are transporting power station, wind farms that will allow the stadium to be lighted up.
Wow. Mr. Lebon, the contract now being renewed for another term. Why did AGL decide to continue this relationship with CAF?
Well, I think I already replied. It's all about leadership and what is football in Africa. Football is not a game. Football is not a game, it's a passion. I mean, it's also a way for people to show to the rest of the world, we are good, we are the best, we are disciplined, and I'm really happy by the way you lead this body, this CAF, because you have, I believe, a tremendous opportunity. And we spoke about the French team, but the team of France is the team of Africa. So, Patrice, I mean, this is what you have, and we were champion with this African team. As a French, I'm really happy, and I thank all the Africans who play for France and were in France. It's time that French people say, we are proud, we are happy to have African in France, but it's also the time that Africa has its own success, and I'm sure that under your leadership you will be successful. As you say, you know, we want to be associated with people who are improving our image. We want to make money, we want to be a profitable company. When you visit Tony and our office in South Africa, when you visit our office in Zimbabwe, we want to have the same office everywhere in Africa, state of the art. This is why we are associated to the CAF, where we are associated to the leadership of the CAF and to each of you in Africa, because our DNA is Africa. And our focus is Africa. We are, as you said, Patrice, we are long-term companies. We believe your continent is the future of humanity. You are now about 1.5 billion, but in 2025 there will be 2.5 billion of African people, and 1 or 3 will be African. So we have to be there and to be part of this big project of to give to this continent its real destiny.
Well, we're about to make this renewal official very shortly. And lastly, Dr. Motsepe, last year you revealed a very ambitious plan to have CAF record $1 billion revenue within the next 8 years. Here we are today. We were celebrating another African partner. So what does this mean for African football?
Well, just very briefly, one president was saying to me in Morocco last week he asked his Minister of Sports to come to Morocco. And he put him in the car and took him to all the academies and the football fields and the investment in the youth, the schools. And he said to his minister, and you want me to compete with Morocco with the $2 million that I have to fight? Thank God there's no government official. I mean, to get, in fact, he said to get $1 million from you is a challenge. But you want me to compete with Morocco, and there's such support and commitment from the highest level. So we are just in a humble way trying to make sure that we give as much money as possible. Because the money is not supposed to sit in Cairo or in some account in Africa. It's got to sit in the bank accounts of the football associations, in the 54 football federations, our member associations. Because we live in a real world, and the real world is, in order to compete, you've got to invest. And in order to invest, you need financial resources at schools, academies, coaches, trainers. So I'm excited that, and I think what makes me even more excited is what Philip said, is the future of African football looks exciting. And exciting beyond my days as president of CAF. And that's very important. Because we are building legacies here. And it's a legacy that of the 54 nations, the 54 member associations. And it's those who come after us. And that's why part of my focus now is to make sure that there's sustainability in the future. We will be announcing, I'll be talking to the EXCO on Saturday to tell them very soon we're going to open the AFCON for 2029 and the AFCON for 3031 and the AFCON for 3033 and various other competitions so that we can get countries to prepare. There was a time when Kamanga came to me and said to me that he and Namibia, can you hear me, Namibia? President of Namibia. And I think in Botswana had some thoughts of coming together and hosting one of the competitions. Because I also want to rotate. I'm proud of what's happening in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. And I'll be in the Seychelles in a few weeks' time. I'd like to see Mauritius, Comoros, and Madagascar come together. Our beautiful islands. It will be a celebration of the continent's islands. So all I'm saying is that we need to make sure that there's sufficient resources. We've taken 15 minutes more than we should have. This is the problem when you enjoy when you are next to Philip. We should have finished a few minutes ago. There's going to be, because I know they all want to ask questions, there's going to be a, what do you call it?
There's going to be a mixed zone for
outside,
the members of the media. All right, let's make...
You must tell them, when I say we need to pay our players more money and our coaches, your CEO from Supersport is here. They need to pay you as well. And I'm so proud to see the CEO of SABC. She does such wonderful work, and she's got football in her family. And she's not even well paid, so we must do something about all of these things.
Awesome stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to make it official. It's time for the official signing ceremony. Let's do it. There we go. The historic signing of this union.
Can I just ask all the CAF presidents to come and stand behind us? All of the CAF presidents in COSAFA to come and stand behind us, because this is your document and your agreement. Can we get hands for them as they come up? All the CAF presidents. Okay. Also the Caesar.
have a presentation of gifts as well. While you are.
We have a little gift for you, Patrice.